All right. Welcome into the Rockdown Detroit Lions post-game show. Man, I don't even know how to move on from here. We just obviously witnessed a pretty tragic ending to the Lions preseason game versus the Atlanta Falcons. It kind of gives you an opportunity to think how important your life is, how important everybody's life is. And this is a guy, Norris. That's like I'm struggling, not holding back right now from being emotional, but it's a guy, Norris, that has been fighting all summer long to be relevant on this team. I mean, so much so that Dan Campbell had to kick him out of practice a couple of times because he was just too fiery, right? He wanted it too much. Or maybe it was just enough, right? Maybe he had the right energy and was trying to earn a spot on this team, fighting for it. And now he's fighting for his life, potentially. That is one of the craziest turn of events that I've heard of in the last few weeks. You're fighting for a roster spot. You get kicked out of practice because you're so amped up. And now you go in to make a tackle. You're just trying to do your job. And now you're on your way to the hospital. I hope everyone, whether you're a praying individual, religious individual, or not, just put some good energy in the air for Norris, the Detroit Lions, obviously their entire staff. They're going to have to endure this now, and hopefully we get good news tonight from somebody that's going to cover this in Atlanta. Tremendous gesture, obviously, on the field by both teams. We've seen it happen over the last couple of seasons where players have been injured, heart stops, and the game stops after that, right? We've had a few times where major injuries have stopped a regular season game. Clearly, there was something wrong right away, the way that the medical team came onto the field tonight and were quickly working, but at the same time, like Megan had reminded me, that they have to work slow, methodical, right? They have to do things the right way to ensure that he is taken care of while getting off the field. I mean, he's surrounded by equipment, right? It's kind of hard to treat somebody when they're laying there in shoulder pads and a helmet, and especially if it's a spine injury, which I'm thinking it's probably a spine injury at this point, or severe concussion. They had to do whatever they could to make sure that Norris had a chance. I'm just kind of at a loss for words. I mean, even thinking about what the Lions have been through and what, other teams have been through, I don't think any of us really expected. We didn't get the idea that they were going to stop this game. They were talking together, Raheem Morris and Dan Campbell, but we never got the idea that they were even going to consider stopping the game. And that gesture, man, I tell you, I took a picture of it because it just hit you. They hiked the ball. That last play was for Norris. The last 14-ish minutes of that game was all for him. I hope it's not the last 14 minutes that he lives or that he plays or whatever. I hope that there's another 14 minutes of Norris that we're going to get to see here, hopefully sooner rather than later. I don't understand what's going on in Detroit for this team. They started the day off with an injury in warm-ups. They've had injuries consistently throughout training camp. They just had 21 guys placed on IR last season. what is going on, right? And it's more than the game, right? Forget winning a freaking Super Bowl at this point. I don't care about that. Like, this injury is it's significant in more ways than just for Norris. I'm going to ask maybe this is a stupid question or a wrong time to ask it. Is Dan Campbell practicing these guys too hard? I don't notice that when I'm in practice, when I'm watching it. I don't notice it, right? But are the teachings, are they playing reckless? I guess is maybe a bad term, but like I said, I'm at a loss for words. I'm trying to think through it. I'm just wondering if there's something else going on as to why these guys are having so many injuries and significant injuries, or are they just having some really bad luck right now? This team's really got to be feeling it, man. All of those emotions for Aiden Hutchinson, I'm sure, just ran through his head as he's there on the sideline, that was just him week 6 of last year. And then I think it was a couple weeks after that, Khalil Dorsey, another tib fib, another major injury. I agree with you guys there, just saying it's just a freak accident. But man, I hope this team takes it to the next level now. It's time to play. It's not like they don't play for themselves, but it's time to play, obviously, for Norris. I'd say at this point it's probably doubtful that he's going to be able to make it back. I just hope he can make it through the night. I have no idea what's wrong with none of us do. Nobody has a clue. I've been combing the internet in the few minutes that it took to get into the post-game show to see if there's anybody reporting anything. And the only piece of news that I see is that he was just taken by ambulance. That's it. That's all that I see. Now, I do have video of the hit. I really don't even want to speculate, but I'll just tell you this. The way that his head met that running back's thigh or leg, it was pretty vicious. Anything could have happened there. Could be a snap neck, it could be a bad concussion, but any one of those combinations of things is not good. This is not a shoulder, right? It's not a broken arm or a broken leg. We're talking serious injury. Let me just run through a couple of notes that I had. I don't want to keep you guys too long because this is not what we want to be going through. It's not what we want to be talking about as Lions fans. We want to talk about the positivity and the good things that were on display tonight. And I don't even want to be negative about the team right now because there's so many negative things happening. And I mean that with all due respect too. When I say by being negative, it's some of the guys weren't playing well. Like, why was Hendon Hooker pulled out 4 minutes before the end of the half? Did Dan Campbell have enough of the fumbles? And the fact that he's not keeping his eyes downfield. Missing big plays. Missed a big touchdown opportunity to Shane Zielstra. The fact that he's, trying to run first as opposed to extending the play with his legs. Those are all things that were happening tonight. And a reason why Hendon Hooker, in the beginning, looked like he was playing pretty well. And it just got progressively worse as time went on. And so that's probably why he was pulled early. Man, it's hard to do this right now. I don't know who David Gutska is, but Trace, just boot that dude out of the channel. Just boot him out. Like, seriously, dude? You're going to come into my channel and just say the Lions suck? Like, seriously? Come on, man. You clearly must be the lowest scum of the earth. Grow up, man. Just grow up. All right, so Hendon, like I said, let me just end this, right? Obviously, Norris is going to be dealing with some stuff. The best thing that we can do as Lions fans is like, let's not get too negative. We're dealing with Ennis Rakestraw. When I was live and I saw the message that came across where 14 hours ago, Ennis put out a message saying, you know, quit DMing me and telling me that I'm going to get cut because he's been suffering through some injuries. You know, like Dan Campbell says, it's not his fault, right? Injuries happen. It's part of the game. What happened to Norris is totally different. Totally different. Yeah, injuries are part of the game, but this is a different level. The reason why I'm bringing Ennis up is because that could have been Ennis tonight, right? That if Ennis didn't get hurt in practice, that could have been him making that play tonight. How badly would you feel because you just ripped apart one of your, you know, football players for having a bad string of luck, and then they go and end up in the hospital for a different reason? Not a simple, you know, shoulder surgery. Your words matter. What you say to people matters. I know we grew up in the age of sticks and stones, right? Will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's just childish talk. What you say to people matters. What you say about people matters. There's some real idiots that do content creation that talk Lions, that run their mouth and have nothing but negative stuff to say about other people and the Lions. That stuff gets back to the team, and it does get back to the people that they're talking about. Karma's a bitch. I'll say that. It is. And if you're not trying to create good karma, bad karma will come for you. I promise you. It will. But why have we gotten so far off of just treating people with some decency and some common courtesy, a little bit of respect? These guys are out there busting their ass. Yeah, they get paid a lot of money, but you know what? They're doing something that they just put themselves in that situation where this dude could be not waking up tomorrow, or he could be, you know, crippled for the rest of his life. So that money is well earned, right? Because at any moment, something like that could happen. If you want to be a good Lions fan, then say something positive. You know, there's nothing wrong with being analytical. I'm analytical all the time. There's nothing wrong with being critical. I'm critical all the time. But I do it from a place of facts and video and research and film work. There's a difference between a loudmouth, you know, hot breathing asshole, excuse my language, just talking crap about people that doesn't have football knowledge, and then someone that's trying to do it from a place of fact and research, right? And I'm not the only one. There's plenty others out there. There's a big difference between this is what I saw, this is how they can correct it, versus you suck, hope you get cut. You know, big difference. Big difference in quality of content. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because we just apparently are ripping apart Ennis Rakestraw because he got injured. These are the same people that cheer on the team when we're 15-2, but rip them apart the entire time and say how all these players suck. And Brad Holmes sucks. And Aaron Glenn's, you know, sucks. And saying all these negative things, but yet they're still cheering on the team when they're winning. And they still want a Lombardi. I mean, how narcissistic is that, really? You've got to be a certain level of bottom feeder to just want to tear people apart. I don't understand it. You know, I was never a perfect angel when I grew up. I've done my fair share of stupid shit. But there's one thing that I've always tried to do, and that is try to treat people with some respect. It is earned, but I at least try to treat you with some respect in the beginning. If you burn me, I just don't talk to you, right? Why don't we treat our team with a little bit of respect? And tonight should be another wake-up call to the fans out there that haven't figured it out yet, that these guys are putting it on the line for your enjoyment. Yeah, it's their job. This is your pastime. This is your 3 or 5 hours a weekend that you're spending watching football in football season, to escape, right? To escape all of your troubles in life, or to escape, your job and give you some peace and some harmony for a few hours at a bar or, with your buddies, whatever it is that you do. I'm doing this. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm not wasting my time. You do you. But the point that I'm trying to make is these guys are out there busting their ass to put a good product on the field so they can bring something to the city of Detroit. Something that we've been wanting for a long time. Something that this city deserves. But why would the city deserve it if a large faction of the fan base is just ripping these guys apart? I don't get it. So I apologize on behalf of all those fans. The guys like Norris don't deserve it. The guys like Ennis Rakestraw don't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. I think you all know me by now, man. It's pretty easy to be negative and critical. It is really hard to be more positive, right? It's a lot harder to see the positive out of every situation. I've been through a lot of shit in my life. I've seen a lot of stuff. A lot of things you'll never know. But one of the biggest reasons why I'm here is to try to help other people. Through my life's mistakes or through my life's journeys. Cancer obviously being the most recent. It kind of reshapes your mind a little bit. And maybe that's why I'm way more positive now than I ever was before. But I just want to see this team do well, and I want to see this city rise up again. I'm not even from Detroit. My father is, right? My grandfather is. They're from the area. My whole side of my dad's family is. From Pittsburgh through Detroit. But I feel attached to the city because I've been there so often. I've obviously been a big supporter of the team for 27 years. As a loyal member, 40 years, ever since I can remember being a Lions fan. And now doing this so that we can find a way to give back to others. Let's make this about, I'm sorry, are ads on? Jeez, oh Pete's. I see, let me kill these ads. There's no reason to even have ads on. There's just no reason to treat people like shit. So let's try to be positive, man. Enough of the doom and gloom. I think I've choked back all my emotions right now. I only have a few things I want to touch on. I'll dig into the tape probably tomorrow, and hopefully we get some good news on Mr. Norris between now and then. But quite simply for Hendon Hooker, I know that he's going to field a lot of criticism between tonight and tomorrow, and I'll just say maybe you should hold it for a while, right? My criticism isn't extremely negative. I'm just going to tell you what he's doing wrong from my perspective. He's not keeping his eyes downfield. He's too quick to use his legs. It's initial play, his legs, and that's it. It needs to go initial play, extend the play, then your legs. Take a page out of Kyle Allen's book tonight. He made some incredible plays, some really good throws. When the pocket collapsed, he still was looking downfield, and then he would use his legs. That is why Kyle Allen is ahead of Hendon Hooker right now. Hendon looked a lot better last season in preseason than he does right now. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's fielding too many DMs because everyone thinks that we should be trading Hendon Hooker. And look, that's part of the business, right? Even though tonight happened, that doesn't mean that there may not be moves tomorrow that happen on this football team. That's part of the business. We're going to leave that to Dan and Brad, right? For me, I just want to talk constructively with constructive criticism on what we see and how, maybe they can correct it or maybe they don't. And maybe they move on. And we'll find players that could fit. And we'll talk about it. But I'm not going to throw these guys, into the trash bin and talk shit about them. I'm not going to do that. It's just not, that's not what they deserve. I thought there was a really cheap call on Broderick Martin. I thought that Broderick Martin had a few good plays. I thought he was getting some good pressure. He was about a quarter second away from a sack on multiple occasions. And then he got that real cheap roughing the passer call for just literally dragging his fingernails across the guy's face mask or kind of off to the side of the face mask. Should not have been a call at all. But as the rule states, if you make contact with a face mask with your hand, it should have been hands to the face. It shouldn't have been roughing the passer. Should have been hands to the face. Ahmed Hassanin is exactly who we thought he was. Him and Broderick Martin collided for a TFL. Martin was credited with the TFL. I do not believe that Ahmed Hassanin was credited with that play at all. Man, this is a rough one. Taking a look here at the stats real quick. I just want to make sure I'm correct on this. Ahmed Hassanin was not credited with the TFL. He was not credited with the sack, but he was in on a lot of plays. Like if somebody else was not going to make the tackle, he was going to make the tackle. That's what I love about this kid, man. He's where he needs to be, and he's oh so close on being the first one there. And that's a good place to be at the young stage that he is as a Detroit Lion right now. He's only going to get better. And he has that mentality to get better. It was 3rd and 8, roughly 6:33 on the clock. I believe it was the second quarter. Defense all standing up. This is the second week in a row or second game in a row that we've seen this. And we saw it in a few situations tonight. You've got the entire front. Calvin Shepard has the entire front of this defense. All of the linemen, all of the edge guys, and the linebackers, of course, standing up. They're not even going down. And it's been in opportunities where they're trying to create a lot of pressure or they're using some sort of a blitz disguise. You don't know where the pressure is going to come from. You don't know where the blitz is going to come from when they're all standing up. That's the beauty of it. I love it. I think that Calvin Shepard is going to totally change this defense and totally give this team an opportunity to win some football games that maybe we shouldn't win if we're, up against some really good opponents. But doing stuff like this, changing the way that these guys operate and the little nuances within the scheme, this is how you win football games. This is how you get better year after year. The defense, the up defense, I should say, they got another sack by Nate Lynn. He was credited, right? And Hassanin again in on the play, but they were all standing up again. Now imagine when you have Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Tyleek Williams, DJ Reader, all those guys in standing up, none of their hands in the dirt. And you don't know again where the pressure is going to come from. It could be a linebacker, that's free firing, which we saw that again tonight. I thought in the beginning of the season, beginning of the offseason, when Calvin Shepard was announced, one of the first things that I said, and I said it today, and I said it yesterday, and it's probably said it the day before, is I expected a bunch of linebacker blitzing and a totally different scheme for the linebackers than what we've seen before. And it's working, and he's working it. Grant Stewart is probably the biggest breath of fresh air that I have seen on this team in the last 5 seasons. A guy I have not seen come in out of free agency and have that big of an impact right away. And he's not even playing with the ones yet. Wait till he's playing with the ones. Grant Stewart's an animal. He's going to make a ton of plays this year. And he's going to be utilized heavily in special teams, but he's going to get some action with the ones. That there's no way you can keep this guy off the field. All right, Dan Campbell's on. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm surprised he's even doing it, but yeah, kind of has to. Oh goodness. Why don't I see it? Someone just said he's on, right? I don't see it. It's not on, it's not in their live section. What in the world? Are you positive Dan's on? They said on TV what? All right, get me up to speed here. Full sentences, please. Oh, it was on Fox 2, so it wasn't on YouTube. It was on Fox 2. Yeah, well, I won't be able to dial that back in. I'll just have to watch it another day. Why is it on Fox 2 and not on YouTube? Is that something new this year? So give me the run. Now I'm going to have to find it. Hold on. I want to know what's going on with Norris. God, man, my heart just hurts for these guys. You know, there's a lot of great things to be attached to, you know, in life. Obviously, sports is one of the things that I love. This team means a lot. For more reasons than one, but you know, honestly, it was Dan Campbell's consistent speeches of hope and perseverance and resiliency and fortitude. As you know, I'm going through cancer and Megan's going through cancer and our dog's going through cancer. And I mean, I don't even need to tell you all the other things that were happening at the same time. The whole world, the weight of the world was on our shoulders. And for whatever reason, man, it was every other weekend in the fall that Dan just said something. He wasn't the only one, but there's a lot of things that he said that just kept me going. I can't find this thing, so I'm not even, I don't even have the energy to deal with it right now. I really don't. I'll deal with it later. Couple other things here. Kyle Allen, very good football game tonight by him. Very good football game. I think that he would have continued to put on a good display tonight. He got hot early. And he showed us exactly what it means to keep your eyes downfield, like I said, when he found Jackson Meeks. Great throw. Referee obviously in the way. He finished 7 of 8 with a perfect passer rating tonight, 158.3. 2 TDs on the night. 120 yards. Hendon Hooker was 7 of 10. So it's not like he was having a bad, I mean, 70% completion rate's really good, right? But he was only averaging 3.8 yards a throw. And he had a passer rating of 76.2. Jacob Sailors had a good night on the ground, 9 for 35, 3.9 average. What really stuck out tonight was our defense. You know, outside of Kyle Allen doing some good things with the football, and when Isaac Tesla was in there, when Tyleik Williams was in there, I mean, both of them looked good. They looked really good. Tyleik Williams was getting some good pressure. But our defense, their offense only put up 22 yards of rushing through 3.5 quarters. Well, 3 quarters in a minute. 22 yards. That is the defense that we know and love. I get it. It's just the second and third stringers tonight. But that is the defense we love. Passing wise, though, we were not doing so hot in the pass game. Our DBs were lackluster at best. I really like Rock Yassin and Avante Maddox, but there was some other guys in there that were giving up some big plays. And Eric Hallett is one of them. Now, I'm not going to completely throw, dog water in his face tonight, but he's got some work to do. And I don't think that he's going to make this football team. And that's okay, because there's other guys that are going to step up, and we have some other guys already in front of them that expect to make this roster anyway. And we're not going to keep more than 6 corners. And the cornerback room is pretty much locked up as it is. These guys are fighting for practice squad positions tonight. They're not even fighting for a roster spot, in my opinion. I don't think that there's room. But the run defense tonight was stellar. Good pressure on the quarterbacks. Didn't finish a few times. Too many turnovers again on the offensive side of the football for us, but creating a couple of turnovers, or at least, let's see what we have. 1 fumble? No. I think we created 4 fumbles, and we didn't pick up any. I don't think. No. We created 2 fumbles, I think. The stats, they don't add up for me. At least right now, my brain is like mush, but they're not adding up. There's another stat line here on ESPN. It says fumbles lost, and something else, and it shouldn't say that. It should just say fumbles and fumbles lost. But they had 2 fumbles. They didn't lose any. I don't know what that other line is for. Even though Eric Hallett led in tackles tonight, I think he also led in blown plays. DiCaprio Boodle, again, had some decent tackles. He had 3, but he also led in blown plays. Mr. Norris was having a decent game. It's really, really too bad the way it ended up for him. Al-Qadim Muhammad looked good. He was in good shape tonight. Grant Stewart looked great. Nate Lynn looked great. And I'm going to say it. Broderick Martin played his way for another day tonight. He really did. Nothing over the top, but he played his way into another day. And that's all that matters right now. Keith Cooper, didn't see enough of him tonight. He didn't really stand out, but Ahmed Hassanin did. And I think that your Lions defense is in rarefied air. I think that they're going to be heads and shoulders above where they were last year. Questions? Do I dare even open up phone lines? Questions, statements? I'll open up phone lines if someone wants to say anything on behalf of Morris Norris or any of the players. I'll leave it open for a few minutes. If I don't get any calls, then I'm just going to go ahead and shut it down. Uh, 313-312-0348. I'll put the phone number in the chat. 313-312-0348. That is the number to call. Of course, we'd love to hear from you. And if you have anything that you want to say on behalf of Morris Norris or your Detroit Lions football team tonight, phone line is open. Man, So tell me what I missed. Again, I missed it in the chat too. If someone could just clue me in. Dan Campbell was doing a press conference and then he was going straight to the hospital. Is that what I heard? Check Danny Rogers' X. What's going on over there? Of course, I got to sign in. This one hurts, Lions fans. It really does, man. It really does. But I'm glad that y'all showed up big tonight when we did the post-game show. A lot of y'all showed up quickly, and I appreciate that. Please stick around for the season. If you want really good content, you want someone that's honest, right? That's going to give you a fair shake, leans both ways as far as I want to hear you, right? I want to hear your argument. And there's no right, wrong way to be a fan. Really isn't. There's just only one right way to treat people. Okay, so Danny Rogers says that, here, I'll bring it up. Man, I've got to do something about storage. Keep saying I don't have any storage left. 8 terabytes full. That's not good. All right, let's get this up. All right, this looks like a bit of Dan Campbell's press conference tonight. I'm just going to apologize about the quality of the way that I've got it set up. It is Twitter, by the way.
So this, obviously thoughts and prayers with Norris. We got some positive information on him, that he's at the hospital. And I'll have to just leave it at that. But obviously, something like that happens, it puts things in perspective. So we're just praying for now. I asked everybody prays for him, questions.
You said positive. Can you share what the positive news is? More?
Just breathing, he's breathing, he's talking. That's good. He's got some movement, so and now they're running more tests.
You just take us through the
Okay, so not much there, but if you heard at the end, he's breathing, he's moving, he's got some movement. They're going to be running some more tests, obviously. So not much, but Dan Campbell, according to Danny Rogers, says that Norris is breathing and talking. It's a positive update so far. So some members of the staff will stay back. Some teammates want to see him. And that Mo's mom is at the hospital with him. So prayers up, man, to this dude. He's got to get healthy, man. All right, I didn't get any calls. I'm going to end it tonight. Got a lot of reflection to do. So big thoughts, prayers, wishes, well wishes, obviously to the Lions organization, the staff, Norris and family. And appreciate all of you guys and ladies. You are the best part of this channel. This is your channel. I'm just here running it, having fun. But I wouldn't be here without you. And I sincerely appreciate everyone making this a great place to be. So probably see you guys tomorrow at some point. Otherwise, try to have a good night. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.